Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave, and this is day 3 of the January daily draws. So as we start the weekend, let's see what message we get. And I'll be taking the first card from the Linestrider Tarot, followed by an Oracle card from the Enchanted Map Oracle. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. We have the Emperor. So maybe we're getting a little bit organized. We're thinking about the things we need to do and how we're going to go about doing them. This is about order, it's about routine and structure. So maybe we want to be establishing some better routines and habits in our lives, some structure to our lives that maybe has been lacking, or whatever structure that's been in place is no longer working for us so as good as what we would like. So as well as what we'd like, I should say, by the grammar there. Um, so maybe we need to improve or totally reform the structure of the way we deal with our daily lives and the way we manage time and resources and the way we sort of prioritize tasks. Maybe we need to update our priorities, alter them, adjust them. All of this is a strategic way of making things work as smoothly and as efficiently as possible. And that is certainly the realm of the Emperor. And that's what I believe that the Emperor is suggesting to us, that we look at our routines, the way we do things, and maybe change things up a bit where necessary to make it more efficient. So um, it's basically establishing new systems, new methods, new procedures. Perhaps you could do this in your own personal life, in your home life. You could do this in your work life, and you may have a role in work where you manage procedures and how the the workplace runs, and maybe you've got a role in maybe changing things up a bit as we start this new year. This is the kind of sphere I believe we're talking about. It's making things work better by putting things in place, systems in place, routines in place. It's thinking through strategically that how will this work better? How can this work better? And where things have worked but not quite as well as we would have liked, why? What was the problem? What was the issue that perhaps slowed things down or didn't make things work quite as efficiently? What was it about that? Where's the issue that needs re-examining and maybe changing up? So this is very much what the Emperor is bringing our attention to um, at the beginning of this new year. Is Does this new year bring with it new routines, new habits, new ways of our daily lives, the way we organize things? It could even be uh, even like do we have enough? Do we manage our time well? Do we spend enough time in rest and not instead of too much time doing and working and not resting enough? So that's why we feel a bit tired all the time. Are we having too much rest and we're not doing enough, so we're falling behind on things? All this kind of and also things like our daily routines, like what we eat, when we eat, do we exercise, do we have the right kinds of food? All these kinds of things in our lives that can contribute to how our lives work and run as we move forward. And if there's different ways we can change things up and organize it and prioritize perhaps things, maybe some things in our lives is not as high as it should be on our priority list, and maybe something that's a bit higher up could move down a couple to make room. That kind of adjustment is all part of what the Emperor may be suggesting to us. So that's something for us to think about perhaps over the weekend. Okay, let's see which Oracle card we get to go with that. Okay, here we go. The Gentle Gardener. And to me, whatever we're trying to bring in and whatever system we put in place, whatever routines and procedures and however we want to term it, into our lives to improve our creativity, to improve the creative aspects. The Emperor is not always known for his gentleness. Not usually. Not saying that he can't be, but that's not his priority. But we need to temper that a little bit with a little bit of gentleness, a bit of compassion, particularly on ourselves. Yes, we may need to change things up, but let's not put too much upon ourselves. Let's not put too, it's to take the strain off a little, these new more efficient ways of doing things, so that we're not so stressed and browbeaten by what we have to do. Is to make things easier, not harder, and it should be done in a way that's compassionate to our needs, and also we need to be compassionate and gentle with ourselves as we nurture these things. It's not necessarily going to happen overnight, and we're not always going to get it right. And that's where that gentleness needs to come in, and not be a harsh taskmaster saying that you got that wrong. Just gently realize where you went wrong and just make the adjustments you need, but just keep going and don't be too hard on yourself. So temper some of that structural rigidity and solidness, and sometimes with a little bit of compassion and gentleness with it as well, so that it's not all routine and structure. There's that freedom, there's that free spirit of creativity in there as well. So make this the structure to channel this creative energy, not to stifle it or control it, just to help it along its way, to channel it through where it needs to be. That's where the sweet spot is for me with this. So yes, by all means, change up your routines, work on your priorities, but be gentle and kind to yourself as you're doing it, and understand that it's not necessarily going to happen overnight and there will be mistakes made. So with that in mind, that I believe is the message of the cards today. So that's today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 4. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.